What's going on? What's going on, fam? Quick update. It is raining in Los Angeles, and we've been on fire for weeks, so we're really excited about it, but it's a little colder than usual, so that's why I look like I'm in Colorado right now. I got my snowboarder hoodie on. Okay, let's jump right in. My name is Stormy Calder. If you're new here, what's going on? Welcome. I am your atypical spiritual coach who is plenty happy to talk to all the lower chakras and spirituality through understanding the shadow and what it is to be human, because we are not just divine, we are also human. To be human is divine when we merge those concepts. I'm a perfect example of that. It is my life's work to continue to be an example of that. So, welcome. Like the video, subscribe, tap the bell for notifications, do all the things. I do want to hear from you guys in the comments if you have fun or funny, amusing, polite, lovely things to say to me. I am open to that. And gosh, you know, I'm in the middle of my continued identity shift, as many of you know, and I don't know if you're going to love me or hate me for this video. So let's bring it on, yeah? Who's going to find out? We're not going to fucking know until she does it. So here we go. All right, so don't hate me, or do, whatever. In this video, I'm going to riff and jump into divine masculine and divine feminine in the context of dominance and submission. Okay? I know this isn't like a popular spiritual topic, and I'm not relating it directly to sexual behavior or BDSM or anything like that. It's actually not my vibe in general, so I need you guys to separate dom and sub from that category of things and just understand it as dominant and submissive traits, dominant and submissive power, okay? I'm going to talk in terms of power dynamics because it is something that I understand in complete mastery. Source power, shadow power, light power, power from mental prowess, power that is given and received from other people, from their thoughts and opinions, how you wield power, how you move power, how you digest power, what power you're afraid of, what you're not afraid of, what you submit to consciously and unconsciously, where you over-dominate consciously and unconsciously. That wreaks havoc in all of your personal relationships. It wreaks havoc on your immediate environment, how you manifest. And by wreaking havoc, I'm not going to dance on this lightly. I really can't anymore. Okay, Spirit's just demanding that I show up in a different way. We're more authentic, more raw, and more honest. And that raw is power. Okay, so my guides always tell me, I'm gonna give you pieces that they always channel through to me. So my guides, when they catch me in times of what I would call war, which is just, I'm constantly in it. It's why my name is Stormy. It's how I can actually wield my light. Because there are a lot of forces that, gosh, when you carry this much light, there are just a lot of forces that want to bully the shit out of me. So I have to continually power up all of the time and be very comfortable in constant storm territory. God bless the name for choosing me. It's kind of like a puppy, except it's not a puppy. It's a whole element. So where do I want to go with this? I want to change my light. Hold on. That's also like a whole nother sign by itself, right? Like, let the light change. Let there be more light. Let there be more vibrance. Oh, gosh. Okay. So I want to talk about dominance and submission contextually within understanding the masculine and feminine parts of the self. You guys will hear me talk about this endlessly, but we all are masculine and feminine, regardless of our gender. The gender expression that you chose, and yes, you did choose it when you came into body, your soul chose that gender expression to create a natural dominance of that gender. So that is your polarizing gender expression. Now, of course, there are men that act like women, there are women that act like men, and you could choose to express yourself regardless of your gender. If you're a man, you could have a more feminine expression and express outwardly that way. If you're a woman, you could do the opposite as well. There's gender fluidity. It's so funny for me to enter this topic because I actually can talk about it because I understand it in context of the internal power and internal energies. Now, I'm going to cover this in a few different ways. First, I'm going to say that I very much believe in traditional gender roles. And I'm saying that so you guys don't confuse my energy. So this is one of the ways that I can be polite with you in allowing you to see a little bit more clearly what's for you and what's not for you. If you don't believe in traditional gender roles and you're not into it, and I'm not talking trad wife either, I'm just saying traditional gender roles. I believe that men are men. I believe that they should be gentlemen. I believe in chivalry. I believe if you can't have respect for feminine form, you don't deserve to have sex with it. Create babies with it, mate with it. I have seen a million different ways through many, many clients and myself and my ancestry and everything, the amount of energy that I read where men's disrespect, like they trap women into damsel cycles on purpose that takes generation. Like I've had to cut generations, generations of courting and doing healing for 7 generations back because of the stuff that was done, because of the black magic work that was done by the masculine onto the feminine lines. And it's very common for humanity, okay? Like, I have to go here. Travel with me if you'd like. Take what you love, leave the rest. I'm going to say what I say, and then you can discern and reflect what you want from that and take the best for you, okay? But there's nothing kind about humanity. Humanity is known for pillaging, raping, and stealing from women and children. Dominance in empires, how certain empires took over certain territories and areas physically to create that dominance and to overtake. I live in America. We didn't just end up here. I'm like Scottish, white, Italian, and Puerto Rican. Like, I've got a whole lot of mix of dominant themes in my blood and DNA. But ultimately, we took this country from Native people. Like, there is no gentle way of saying it. So if anyone wants to fight me on the spirituality of dominance, like, get out of my room. I'm not just going to spiritually bypass shit that's real. I'm saying that because, fortunately or unfortunately, most of the spiritual community, it's just an aspect of development. We've almost been like tricked into these ideas that nothing bad happens, only good things. Oh my gosh. Like, the world is perfect. And then you turn around and you're like, well, it's perfect until it's not. It's perfect until LA burns itself to the ground and people without homes now. Like, it's perfect until it's not. If it doesn't affect you, then it's perfect. Once it affects you, it's no longer perfect. It's like, I don't know. I just like to be real. I like to be human, and I like to speak to the human experience. And I hold that space for myself. I hold that space for you guys. I hold that space for my clients. So that's where we are. Let me continue on our riff. What else do I need to say here? There needs to be respect for the feminine form, regardless of your gender, in order to receive the benefits of femininity. Again, if you're a man or a woman, if you're a man, you're carrying that feminine essence within yourself from your bloodline as a part of your expression. You're also projecting your feminine essence and what you believe is femininity on those around you. So for those of you men that need to hear it, if you have lots of karmic women around you, not divine women, not sweet, not soft, not loving, really conditional narcissistic women, which they are certainly out there, it's part of you. Like, you are projecting your inner wounded feminine on the women around you. Otherwise, you wouldn't attract them into your environment. Now, for those of you that grew up in those environments, did you attract it? Well, your soul wanted you to learn something, so you were born into it, and then your life becomes trying to discern what's real, what's healthy, what's unhealthy, and then filtering through it, which involves you coming into balance with your own femininity, which comes into respect. So women can carry misogyny just as much as men. My guides always tell me, depending on the person that's in front of me, et cetera, they'll be like, that's a misogynist. And I'm like, but that's a woman. And they're like, listen to what she's saying. She's a misogynist. I'm like, okay. And then when my guides want to balance me out, there are things that I say in my head or actions that I take, and my guides lightly will be like, that's your inner misogynist. Like, why don't we heal that in you? Like, you shouldn't even be thinking that way. I'm like, okay. So it's important to heal your feminine and your masculine sides of yourself if you want to see the reflection around you change, which very often is not just going to like change automatically overnight and all of a sudden spirit's going to sweep people out of your life and bring the right people in. It changes through your ability to consciously see circumstances and discern consciously with your mental mind. Creating boundaries, setting boundaries with people that need to be removed from your life so you are removing them. Spirit will remove them if spirit needs to, but often we can take care of it ourselves too, and we are often led and guided to do so. It's the unsexy spiritual work. I think the majority of my spiritual work right now is like boundary setting left and right. And now I'm starting to understand, I'm just giving you guys pulling back the veil on my experience, is like, not only do I have to set boundaries, but the level of pushback I get from darker forces externally is so heavy and so high that I now have to project, I don't even know what you call it, an intensity of masculinity in my energy field in order for those forces to feel that, knowing that I'm going to fight like I'm not a damsel. And that is part of my healed masculine energy, which actually let's just dive into. Because for the women, you'll understand, like, I'm a woman, and I identify as a woman, and I love my femininity. And my past is riddled with abuse, severe abuse, danger, lots of it. And I love like being my light self and glowy self. But I found more recently, like, it's just, sometimes you just can't escape your past. It is your past. You can't escape it. What I will say is you can continue to heal and change your identity to shift up and elevate. It will always be some version of you, but you can change yourself and mold yourself as you go, changing your expression so that you could handle it better, so that you can clear it without carrying it. And now I'm at the point where I'm like, bullies better be known. They're going to be bullied the shit out of them. If you come anywhere near me with bully energy, don't think for a second I'm not going to punch you right back. Like, I'm right here for it. And they're telling me to actually give you this is so funny. Okay, you guys know that my guides describe antidotes through my personal experience and personal stories. So here's the deal. We have a core expression from our soul. Then based on our environment and how we grow up, that core expression can change and we can take on traits that other people wanted us to be until we find, again, who we are. So I'm going to tell you my core essence in two parts. The one that's coming forward right now is the one that was the hardest for me to re-identify with. I was 5 years old. A lot of things happen before you're 5 years old, okay? I was riding the bus home and somebody, what was he, like, maybe I was 6 years old. I don't know, something like that. There was a bully on the bus. I knew all of the bullies, but I will tell you that I did not often get bullied in general because my family did that for me. So this little boy on the bus saw my artwork. I was holding artwork from the day that I was bringing home, and I was so excited, and I am a little artist, have been since I was a little kid. And I was like, I remember this moment where I was sitting on the bus, and I was so into my artwork. I was so feminine. I was so tapped into my feminine essence. And this little boy was attracted to it. You know how they say, like, and I hate this phrase so much, and it is so true, and we need to, like, train this out of ourselves and our little men culturally. And I would call them little men. Is that they're like, oh, he likes you. You know, a boy likes you when they punch you. And I'm like, that's the most effed up shit I have ever heard. But anyway, this boy liked me. So he saw me with my artwork, grabbed the artwork, and then ripped it in front of my face, watching what was going to happen next in anticipation. He did it to He did it to make me cry. That was the intention. He came across a little girl who's not really about the crying. Okay? Contrary to my other experiences, what I tell you guys through, I do cry a lot. So here's what happened. I started counting down. All right, 5-year-old me is sitting there on the bus going, vengeance is mine, bitch. You give me 5 minutes. The second we get off this bus, I'm handling this. I'm not even kidding. This is 5-year-old version of me. I get off the bus. I let him have the artwork. I let him walk away. I let him think on his smug little face with his little friend, because he had a friend with him. So there were two little boys that were older than me, 2 years older than me, which is pretty significant, actually. So I was 5, they were 7, I think, or around there, grade school. They started walking ahead of me, and I counted down in my head because I wanted to jump them. Because I was like, you jumped me with my artwork, I'm going to jump you, and I'm going to take care of this, and you're never going to do this to me again. So I gave him a head start, and then I came in, and it's like so hilarious. I did a fucking karate kick, bro, from behind. I karate kicked this dude, and I was like, don't ever do that to me again. And the friend, his little friend, who was also older than me, this other boy, was so scared that the friend ran. And I was like, you just ditched your bro. And the little 5-year-old girl just beat the shit out of you. Like, thank you very much. That was an act of self-defense, of me defending my femininity. I haven't thought about that memory in a very long time, so I know this will be relevant for you guys. They're talking through the experience. And a lot of these experiences are trained in early childhood. Right now, beneficially, I did not get punished for that. I was actually like uplifted. I think I had reported him to the principal or something. And like, I don't know, there was something behind it where I was actually supported around that experience, which was really great. So I knew that I could do that with little boys. Now with adults, it was a problem. Adult power with me was very problematic in my upbringing that I won't get into, but it's like understanding like that. If we were to put that into a container of a time capsule, I would say that is my masculinity. That is my like internal masculine driving force. Like my masculine is protective. He takes no shit. He is watching out, and he doesn't, like if a bully's coming up to my masculine, he's sucking that dude right in the face, or that whatever the F it is, like is so protective. And I'm tapping into that experience, and I'm giving you guys, because this is like the highlight reel of the higher vibrational traits of masculinity. There was timing with that experience. And when I tap into these things now as an adult, this is what saves me. Like this is what allows me to move through a very difficult human world without giving up my light, which is my femininity, right? This masculine side is my shadow. This masculine side is really relentless, like ruthless. And I need that because of the amount of light that I carry. And this part of myself doesn't care how big someone is. When something's right and wrong, when something comes to hurt me, I then move into dominance. So that's where we're going to take this into the dominant versus submissive territory again too, because it's like the masculine, when it is healthy and balanced, is also dominant. A lot of people take that into the imbalanced side. Most men, not most, I don't know, like we do have a certain president that is very abusively dominant. So maybe at this point, most of the men in the country. I mean, if you guys watched the videos in December that I posted, my guides put an entire video up about the collective of masculinity being weaponized at the reptilian brain level as a hive mind, and I encountered that weaponized mind when I posted the last video on masculine feminine dynamics. So the shit is real. Astrally. Okay, so let me think real quick. Dominance versus submission, masculine. When we think of the word dominance, like dominance can be taken in so many directions. There's healthy dominance and then there's unhealthy dominance. Unhealthy dominance is force and abuse, right? Healthy dominance is, I would put control in the other category too. Healthy dominance is like leadership, taking no shit and doing no harm. So like for example, the child me, which is the core essence of my soul masculinity, like that was not trained in me. I wasn't trained to do that. That came out of me. It's part of my soul character is that I don't take any shit. Now, part of my upbringing, et cetera, like through my adulthood, especially becoming a very, very spiritually aligned person, it became a little bit of a difficult territory for me because my soul doesn't take shit. But I was almost martyring myself energetically to be forwardly more spiritual, to people please. I love this phrase, people pleasing into submission, to people please people into submission around me so that they wouldn't fight me, so that they wouldn't bully me, so that they wouldn't hurt me. So I would just remove all of these darker shadowed aspects out of myself and hide them, essentially, because most of you in spiritual communities, no offense, can't handle the polarity that someone that is sensual and feminine and can be very submissive. I'm very submissive to God, like, and very light, extraordinarily light, can also be cutthroat. I am cutthroat. I have had to be. It is how my survival skills work, and how I can carry so much light is because I'm constantly on personal offense. We'd call it defense, but I'm no longer on defense. I'm on offense. It took a long time for me to train those skills back into me, which I already had at a soul level. And I'm just sharing this transparently. I know I can already see some of the energies coming in right now that are going to be women that are like, oh, thank God, I have permission to like actually fight back. And it's like, yeah, baby, like you don't have to go through all of those years of abuse from men and then sit in this moment and be like, I love men. Like, no, we're not all going to love men. We all encounter, and men encounter very abusive men as well. And it takes a huge toll on their masculinity as well. And then they create like over submissive feminine traits within themselves and project those as wounded feminine as well. Like it affects all of us. It's an entire fucking team thing. There is no real separation of it. And I will also say, for those that need to hear this, another stream of, they're saying income, but a stream, that's funny, a stream of thought that's coming through is like the man hating. This isn't about women hating men. That's not what this is. Men suffer just as much as women do, because we all carry masculine and feminine components, aspects of ourselves, okay? Now, I want to give you guys another reference point. So I just went through and honestly, I'm also being told this stuff will show itself to you to reflect upon before you're 5 years old. Because I'm going to give you another memory I have. One of my first memories of myself, I'm probably like 3. I'm dancing in a yard in a sundress. My family told me I loved to wear bathing suits. I love, like I'm run around. I loved dresses. I refused pants until I was like 5. All I would wear were dresses. I was very, very feminine. A very feminine little girl with sweet, cute little bouncy curls. I looked like Shirley Temple. I don't really have any photos of my upbringing, so if anyone knows me, frickin' send me photos, please. That's what abuse and trauma does to you. So my feminine side, the feminine side of my soul that was being expressed before 5 years old, is very soft, very sweet, very playful, very fun, like just this like wild, like sunflower child. And that is the core essence of my femininity. Now, when we can't think in terms of like holding both polarities for gender in our own minds, you know, when we would think that those two aspects within my own soul conflict. And I get this a lot from people, and maybe you guys experience something similar. Again, I'm just sharing my experience so you can reflect on your own. And that's how my guides work through me. But ultimately, when people encounter one of my traits, they assume the other one doesn't exist. And it drives me fucking wild. It drives me nuts. I'm just like, I don't understand. Like when I bring out my masculine side and I tell you I'm not going to take any shit, like why do you assume that I also don't have this soft, sweet, submissive, fun, playful energy? Like, and when people encounter me in that energy, a lot of people will actively look to bully me because they think that I'm not going to all of a sudden be like, bitch, please. I had your number. I knew what the fuck was going on, and it was running on the background because I come from an environment where I had to be hyper independent. I already saw all the things that were going to happen. And not only from the human level was I analyzing with my mind and choosing a feminine expression from a place of choice, not from an unconscious, but I also have my guides. My guidance team covers my ass in every situation when I'm not paying attention. They get my attention because my attention is caught by them on the 5D. So it's like, you might find, and I don't think this is just me. I think that's why I'm talking it through right now. It's not just me. A lot of you are like this. You have traits that are really polarizing. I don't know if I know anyone that's not polarizing. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't have that many people around me that grew in very safe, upbringings with lots of emotional comfort. I don't know them. I don't know them. We love you. Please, be around us so we can feel a little safer and maybe, pick up some traits from you. Dude, life is a riot. Where is I going with that? I don't remember. Isn't that funny? That's the feminine side of me. That's like, I don't remember. I just want to relax. We tend to split ourselves up and only choose one expression. So here's what I'll say. What I enjoy about the fact that I would say that I'm queer or bi. I'm not actively dating both genders. But I allowed myself to have that expression and understand it. And I'm very, very happy that I have, because I think I was always seeking to understand what was choice and what wasn't, and which part of myself I could really tap into, why and when. I always have had a strong polarity. I can be equally feminine and equally masculine. And in relationships, I can take those roles. I think now at this point, not just I think, I know, I have chosen the feminine expression because it is my preference. But it doesn't mean that I don't have an internal masculine expression. And when I do match up into relationship, my preference and my demand is that men are men, so that I can be in my feminine state. So essentially, I'm attracting in men from the place of health that are reflecting the boundaries that I already set for myself. The masculine expression that is me, I will only allow men into my life that match that expression. So I'm going to give you guys another quick example here. Please don't take offense to this. If you do, just do your own fucking internal reflection work, okay? It's not my job to people please you. If this is offensive to you in one way or another, it's my job to speak my truth. And if you want to be here, great. If you don't, don't. I find for myself that over-feminized men around me, overly submissive men, very passive men around me, are not helpful in my life, because it forces the energetics of the dominant energy into something needs to take dominance. And because of the amount of power I carry on a regular basis with my light, if the men around me can't hold healthy dominance, then I have to become a masculine dominant force. And I don't like that. I don't like having to do that. I do it to keep myself protected, not so men around me can act like women. I'm like, I have a right to be a woman. I have a right. I have gone through every fucking rite of passage there is. It is terrifying to be a woman. So stop trying to be us. Stop trying to be me. You're in an expression, whatever. And this also has nothing to do with being gay or not. Gay men, choose your feminine expression and run with it. Of course we're gonna, we honor that. And if you're in the gay woman territory, a lot of them take masculine expression, and that's fucking wonderful, and I cheer you on. Okay, and I also can talk in all of these dynamics because I am in the queer category. I'm not gonna mess around about it. I don't always identify myself that way because I really do have a strong preference for dating strong traditional men. But I am fluid in my understanding of my own gender dynamics, which really just is a fluid understanding of my soul. Because the soul is genderless. The soul is harnessing both expressions. So you'll find with a lot of people that are very, very, very spiritual, a lot of them understand both expressions or could be bi in one way or another. Or maybe it's not fully expressed, but it's how else do I explain this? We're going to go here because I think part of my audience needs this for whatever reason. Spiritual men tend to be hyper passive. they tend to, and it's a really interesting category. I had a friend talk to me about this recently. She was like, it sounds like you're just like attracting spiritual men. And I was like, they're always spiritual. But the problem with the spiritual men, all big air quotes, okay, is that they reject their masculinity. And because they don't want to be alpha abusive men, which is wonderful, and we need you to not be that, okay, then they swing in the other direction and they take on really passive, submissive traits. They don't know how to dominate in a healthy way. So they become pushovers. They become people pleasers. They become... What are you guys saying? They become an asset to the abusers. And they don't know it. But they look spiritual. They look sweet. They have these big, open, sweet hearts. It's beautiful, and they can't defend themselves. So then what happens? The women around them take on the masculine traits and defend them and the women. So now we are taking both roles. I've had many men in my life in these traits. We love the soft, sweet, sensitive hearts, but I don't want to defend you and myself. Like, get over it. I'm not your fucking mother. If I wanted children, I would have them. I know a lot of women are going to cheer me on for that. If I wanted children, I would have them. Or for those of you that need to hear, I have children. I don't need another one that's a grown adult. Get your shit together. Okay? Tough love Stormy's here and she's not leaving. I'm going to be here all year. So if you're into this vibe, if you want to grow from pressure, you're going to grow from pressure in one way or another, whether it's listening to me and taking it from a place of love, or whether it's your environment and whatever the hell is going on in the United States right now, and over the next 4 years with this shit show that we've got. You will be pushed into your realizations in one way or another. I'm just kind of the soft precursor. That's what we'll say. Let me take a sip of my coffee. Also, a previous version of me would be terrified by this. The current version of me is so thrilled that I get to step into this space. So thrilled. So going back to the polarities, regardless, again, of your gender, etc., there are going to be a lot of you, likely, in my audience that you have probably just as much of a polarizing soul. I don't know that many people that are not polarizing. And pretty much everyone that I know is polarizing. And I know that, and I look for it, and I love both polarities. But most people, when they see one polarity, reject its opposite. So there's a lot of self-acceptance issues there with most people, where it's like when they adopt one side of their persona, which generally is a gender side of their persona, whether it's a masculine, forward-facing, I want to say identity, but it's not necessarily identity, forward-facing behavioral patterns or feminine behavioral patterns. They're attached to it and they assume they can't have the other. And it's taken me a long time to do this work, but I've done this work and I'm just like, I'd say equally masculine and feminine. I'm very balanced in my polarities, but I am significantly more feminine. I'm in a feminine body. So what happens is I use the masculinity that I've cultivated within myself, that healthy protection, healthy provision, protection, like truly. I'm like, my masculinity is showing itself as like a biker dude to me right now. I'm like, yeah, that's me. No bully's gonna come up to me. Or like a martial artist. Or a drummer with tats. This side of it, it's on the right side for men and women. Your masculine side is your right side. This side is the bad boy. Okay. He takes no shit. And this side is like, I am as sensual and as sexual as they get. I am a woman. I love being a woman. I am as soft, as sweet, as all-knowing, as tapped into extraordinary wisdom that shouldn't even make sense in moments when it comes through, as nurturing, as supportive, as loving. I can feel now I'm tapped into my femininity. I'm like, it's so, so present for me just as much as the masculinity within myself is. I'm just spelling these dynamics out within myself as a practice in a place of showing an example so that regardless of where this lands, and I know that how my guides work through the quantum, you're going to receive what it is that you need from this video in the perfect way that's going to be that little key that goes into the lock and unlocks part of your heart that you needed access to. Again, regardless if you're a man or a woman in this lifetime, or if you're gay or not in this lifetime, or if you identify with your opposite gender within yourself as an expression in this lifetime. It's like Spirit's putting the key into your heart right now and unlocking the part that you've been missing within yourself, that wanted expression. That is also just as much of you as the other parts that you have cultivated or that were cultivated within you or pulled out of you or projected from you. I'm just thinking real quick. I do want to talk about light and shadow, but I'm already at 34 minutes. Okay, I'm going to clip this video here, and then I'm going to shoot a part 2. If you want to check out part 2, I will link it somewhere. In part 2, I'm going to go into just a little bit of understanding of light dominance and light submission, shadow dominance, shadow submission. So let's try that. Alrighty. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Lots of love, and I will see you soon.